Come on in, come on in, come on in. Everybody, you're welcome. You're welcome. Hit up the comments. We're interactive. Hit subscribe on the Chiclets YouTube page. We obviously love that. Welcome to another edition, another start of the week and a crazy weekend of hockey on Mother's Day weekend. We got the Wit Dog joining the Merman and myself and G here on this episode of Game Notes Daily. We are live. Boys, Witty, Merles, G, welcome on in. Let's hear about this. Let's hear about the weekend. One of hockey we will get to. I mostly want to hear about your guys' Mother's Day stuff. How'd that go? What was that like? Do you have to get reminded to call your mom? Did you have to, touch base and your dad texts you, hey, call your mom, which has happened to us, I'm sure, before in the past. I guess, Whit, let's start with you.
Yeah, relaxing day. It was one of those like Wednesday. I'm like, oh my God, it's Mother's Day Sunday. Yeah. Just it kind of hits you. Wife played some golf with her friends, so I took my boys, Ryder and Wyatt. We went down, saw my mom, hung out there from say 10 to 2, shot back home. Where then, my wife and her friends, and I'm good buddies with all their husbands. They all came back, and we all had the kids running around. Then I cooked. I was on the barbecue. I was on the grill. And then I cleaned up the whole house, and then it was 7:30, and then I was like, I think I have to lay down because this stupid game doesn't start for 3 hours from now. So I think the thought process in my mind of all day grinding it out, and all you moms out there, happy Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. And I was happy to grind it out for my wife. She's the one always doing the heavy lifting. But in my mind, the whole day was double the grind because I knew the game I had to watch wasn't until 10 p.m. So It was still a nice day, nice afternoon, beautiful weather, so no complaints at all besides the oil being done.
Yeah. Merles, what about you? In Sweden,
yeah,
long way from mom.
Is it Mother's Day in Sweden?
Yeah, a lot more work over here. So we obviously there's we're half American, we're half Swedish, so we have to celebrate 2 Mother's Day. So I do double it. So today this was American. In 2 weeks we'll do it all over again for the Swedish Mother's Day. So I don't want to hear any complaints from the Wit. But classic move by Wit, dad move. When you're alone with the kids, go right to grandma's house.
Yep. Yeah,
seen it 1,000 times.
Yep.
I did same thing. I made the bagel breakfast in the morning. I ended up barbecuing twice, and in between the barbecuing, it was cleaning and staining the deck. It was just a full work day. Yes, everything yes. And I didn't make it up for the game. I fell asleep way before the 4 a.m. face-off, which is just ridiculous. But
yeah, you weren't on the group chat, Merles.
No, I was down. Man down.
The trick is, though, when you're hosting, is you just got to clean the whole time. Like, I never stop cleaning.
Yeah.
That way, at the end, it's still a clean. But if you're just thoroughly cleaning as people are hanging, it makes it a lot better. So that's my trick. It means you never get to sit down and do it and actually enjoy yourself. But at least at the end, it won't be 2 hours.
Gee, and what about you? Did you show up to the house? You went and saw mom and dad, and you walked in, and they saw that Demi Moore haircut. And
no, he didn't.
Holy
Demi.
shit! I can't.
They're just calling me Demi now. No, I went down the Jersey Shore.
G.I. Jane.
I was with G.I. Jane. That's a bad. Means he's gonna kill me with that one. But I went down the Jersey Shore. I did a all-you-can-eat Italian buffet on Sunday. The
What's that entail?
Is
seafood, I bet. A ton of seafood in that, I'm sure.
Seafood, pasta. I was shoving penne vodka in my pockets as I'm leaving. Oh. It was so good. But I just had the ultimate hero move. So I was with my girlfriend's family. Unfortunately, couldn't be with my mom. But I show up with 2 of the most beautiful bouquet of roses you've ever seen for her Nona and her mother. Just got to play the brown nose and Eddie Haskell card. And it made for a good Mother's Day for me.
Yeah, legendary move. So everyone I see in the chat, people are like, where's Army? Where's Army? I'm at Grove City Country Club. I drove out here today. I'm going to be doing some golfing with some buddies. Nice. So I got out here early to get set up, make sure my internet's good, make sure everything's working. Great job on the flowers, G. I will say this. I didn't have flowers planned. I didn't have really anything planned. I sucked. I did cook a nice prime rib last night and some pierogies. Yeah, we had it going. Mel mostly did all of it, though. She's she's amazing. Our weekend was taken up, and Witty, you'll be getting into this soon. You guys both have young kids, and we spent the whole weekend at a hockey tournament. Like one of those.
That's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, one of those spring weekend things that we thought would be fun.
May 14th. Get the fuck out of here playing hockey. It's
I know. I can't wait
unbelievable.
for it just to be done just for summer. But we did it this weekend. My kids' team ended up actually winning the whole thing. Just a bunch of kids made up from all over the place, and it was just one of those fun weekend. Cruiser's team, yeah, they got it done, and they won in the final yesterday. He came off with like a medal, and they did like their celebration crap with like the pennant thing. You know, they have that big poster,
big banner now,
big banner, and they like came out and they're like, oh, he goes, "Happy Mother's Day, Mom," with his like medal, like he's like a legend. I was like, that is sick. What a good dude. So shout out to all the hockey moms that did that this weekend too. There was a ton of moms hanging out at the rink all the time. We know how much you guys go. How much
dads
you guys
get
sacrifice.
the credit, but hockey moms are.
Yeah, they're where it's at.
Just as important, if not more, because they're mentally dealing with the kids, and you got the dads being hard on the kids, and then the moms are always building them up. It's a very valuable position, the hockey mom. So shout out all of them.
My mom started me in hockey. She's the one that brought me to learn to skate. So shout her out. And with me and my brother, we alternated every year. She would go with my brother away one year, and then my dad with me, and we'd vice versa. So you guys will be getting into that as your other kids start playing too. So the hockey mom becomes even more important.
Yep. Shout out to moms. Happy Mother's Day. Shout out to hockey moms. We did it. My wife did it. Mel did it all weekend. So they're grinding in the rinks and, you know, dealing with dads sneaking away to drink beers at the little restaurant next to the rink. It was awesome. So it was pretty fun. It was a full weekend though, but my legs are still sore, boys, from my workout on Friday. They're still a little
I
tender.
told you that. I remember. I knew it. It came
Busy
in
said
hot
go
early.
easy. Busy said go easy. I might have cooked the goose a little too hard there and got after it a little bit much. But without further ado, boys, let's get into it. This is Chiclets Game Notes Daily, presented by TheScore Bet. Merles, get us going.
Yep. Brought to you by TheScore Bet. TheScore Bet is the best sports book for the hockey obsessed. We have daily specials from the entire Chiclets crew. Bet with Biz, Listen to Wit, G-Wagon, RA's Gambling Corner. They all got better odds, so it's a better thing. But remember, always play responsibly. 18 plus, Ontario only. If you have a gambling problem, call Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600. That's the Score Bet in Ontario, which I thought I might be coming to, and I was going to really pump some money into my account. But now I will not be going to Ontario this spring.
You won't even be going to Canada, Mer.
No.
You won't even be going to Canada.
As of last night, Canada is eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs. You're right. Let's start with Friday, though. Big Leafs loss. I mean, lucky to get by the first round. I think we've documented this enough, but big changes, you think? I guess what you think there's going to be changes there? I'm hearing like maybe not. Like maybe they're keeping everyone. Are they going to run it back?
So I'm a little bit confused by the entire Kyle Dubas saga, and what I mean by that is apparently like if he doesn't re-sign with Toronto, it's like he's going to be unemployed as long as he wants, right? Like that's the general feeling. And he's done a great job in Toronto. I mean, there's definitely question marks, but obviously they've become this really good regular season team. Great job. Maybe that's not the right term, but I'm also curious, like, why is he thought of as this like must-have golden child GM? I don't understand why it's like, oh my God, if they let him go, like Pittsburgh's gonna grab him. He could go anywhere he wants. Like I don't necessarily know kind of what he's done to make him this like must-have golden child general manager. Do you know what I mean by that?
I know what you mean. I think we look at what he's been given and you know the core four and what he's done salary cap wise to make everything work. But then I think it's fair to say that because you look at what they've done and when it matters in the playoffs, right? And there just hasn't been much meat on the bone.
There hasn't been much meat on the
his
bones.
idea of what this team should be to win. So is his idea wrong? Is this what he is? Like what I think that's fair to ask that for sure.
He traded the Kadri trade was horrible. Like look at what Kadri ended up doing, and I understand it was 2 consecutive playoffs with stupid suspensions. Yep. And it was one of those things where I think 2 years later he was UFA, whatever the case. That was a brutal trade. Like talk about a guy who you need in the playoffs. Nazem Kadri. It's like it's exactly what the playoffs are made for. I know Leafs fans like he got suspended every playoff, but at some point I think he would have figured it out. He did in Colorado. That trade hurts. And then you feel bad about Jake Muzzin and the injuries. dude, they gave up Dursey, who's now, I mean, a
Rock
legitimate,
steady.
awesome top 4 D-man. They gave up Grundstrom in that deal, Swedish kid that I was in Moto with. A grunt, like he's played a big role for LA, and then I think a first rounder. So that along with the Tavares contract, which I mean Tavares, yeah, in the regular season he's awesome. He's getting older now, and all of a sudden it's like $11 million. Like, did they even really need John Tavares when they signed him?
Yeah.
I just look back. Now he's done some great things. Like they got like Bunting, they got at a great deal. They've been able to kind of work around their cap not being able to go up since COVID. Like COVID kind of fucked
they
them
do
a
a good
lot.
job with their cap. They
And
do a good
COVID
job.
screwed a lot of teams, but the Leafs really, like, that's a team that's banking on every year the cap going up, and then they were kind of stuck. I don't know, though. Like, I just think if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs owner, whoever, whatever, the franchise, whoever owns that team, and you see this long and finally the first round ends and you get whacked in 5, it's like, it's just time to change things.
Yeah.
Now, change sometimes can be for the worst, and I don't know necessarily what they'll do with the core 4 players, but I don't see it like, oh, my God, Dubas has to stay. I don't really get it.
I think it comes down to, and Merles, I want to ask you this too. I think it comes down to your idea. Do you think this idea can still win? Do you think, controlled puck possession breakouts at all cost and controlled puck possession entries? And I get it. That's ultimately what you would love to have. But I think what we're seeing in the playoffs, and it's evident that you have to be able to do a lot of different things. You have to learn to live the fight another day, and you have to have your work boots on and go get pucks and flip it in or flip it out and be able to recover, that way as well and play that kind of style, which we're seeing teams obviously in the playoffs finding success. I think we have to give Dubas credit though this year. He did get Ryan O'Reilly. He did bring in Noel Acciari. He did go get Luke Schenn. He made great moves this year. I have to give him a ton of credit in trying to insulate, prop up, and give depth to his team that he's built. Does their playing style offer to bring the most out of those guys with the way they play too? Because we've seen them go and do these. Like the way they play just doesn't let the reins off of those guys to affect the game, I think, the way that they can best, right? Like Ryan O'Reilly
also,
on the yellow,
Army,
on the boards, battling.
Army, the playoffs now, we've gone over this a million times, it's so different than the regular season, and we'll get into that with Edmonton, Vegas, but that team is not winning the Stanley Cup. There's no chance with those 4 guys as your guys all making bank, and Matthews has to resign soon. Like, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. So in that respect, all right, Dubas has made good moves. If he stays, then he has to move one of them or 2 of them. I don't know. I'm never going to sit here and say I have a clue how to be a GM. I don't. Like Logan Longfellow, the chat here. Dubas wasn't the issue. Yeah, I would say he wasn't the issue this year. Okay, well then look, all right, what are you going to do? And my thing is, Dubas, I don't think would be down with firing Keefe. Keefe in my mind, like that's getting out-coached in 2 series. They were lucky to get by the first one, and they got whacked in the second one. Yeah. So you got to you got to change the makeup of the team, and you got to change your coach. But I don't think he wants to get rid of Keefe. Like they're super tight, those 2, right?
Yeah, they weren't together, I think, in Sault Ste. Marie, maybe in the
Here,
OHL.
Brought him into the Marlies. But Merles, I got to ask you, your coach Merles, do you think their playing style is going to work in the second season? Do you think it has what it takes? I ran into a guy at the rink from the Syracuse area that knew you. I think he coached with you a little bit. Great guy. He was coaching a bunch of 9-year-olds, but he said, Coach Merles.
So I'll get to the coaching part, but I gotta wear my GM hat before I forget, because I've been waiting to say this since Witt brought up Kadri. And you forgot to bring up Hyman too. Another guy that is the type of player that team is missing. So I got
to dog him in 10 minutes, though.
Yeah, but you don't bring in Tavares. Maybe you can keep Kadri and Hyman. You had enough high-end talent already. You didn't need another.
They didn't need Tavares.
Goal scorer. You didn't need him. You needed more grit and other players and maybe a goalie or a D. But I totally agree with you on the whole him being a great GM. How is he a great GM? This offense is going to win. It's been said in every sport since I've been following sports. Defense wins championships, right? You hear it in every sport. Pitching wins in baseball. Defense wins in basketball. Defense wins in football. Offense isn't going to work. The coaching side of it, Yeah, I think he got out-coached. There was that same power play kept going out there. They weren't scoring. I got it here. Matthews, Tavares, no goals, $22 million. You didn't see much going on. Maybe bench one of them guys. See what happens. Maybe wake them up. Show them like something has to happen. But
Well, also, you
I
talk
wasn't
about
impressed.
defense winning championships. Edmonton and Toronto are the same thing where, like, goaltending is a question mark. You could talk about who Edmonton should have started, but they got Campbell. He was brutal all year, making $5 million for 4 or 5 years. And then Toronto had this amazing offensive team, and you get Matt Murray, and then Samsonov plays great, but he's hurt. And all of a sudden, you got a rookie in Edmonton starting a must-win, and you have Joseph Wall starting must-win game. It's like all the work you've done, all these pieces you have, and these are the goalies you have.
And then I hear people going, Joseph Wall has arrived. Like, do I think he's a very good goaltender? We barely saw him. And like, what is going on here? But this is where it's at. This is where the only team that's gotten away with it is Vegas. Vegas is like on their 4th string goaltender.
I know. Did you see Marshall show after
they have
the game?
sixth grade D though. That's the other part of it.
Closure, Mason. Thanks, Mason. Yeah, it's interesting. So
if you look though, like Matthews in that series, I mean, to not score a goal, it's almost impossible. You watch the guy play, and I don't know how many shots he had in this series. I feel like one of the games he had 10 at least.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's like making an impact, but like doesn't matter what you do if you're that guy. If you're the top dog and you don't score, you're done. Your team's done. And they just didn't have any ability from these main guys. I mean, Nylander was by far the best player.
Yeah,
he had the big goal, tied it up.
Dangerous. Like every time he was on, we were saying this. I want to bet on him getting no points. What was that? The second series, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like every time he touched the puck against Florida, I felt like he was dangerous. So yeah, I think he was their most impactful skill guy on that team of the core 4 for sure. For sure.
And he's the lowest paid, $6 million.
Yeah.
And the Leafs D, just like Edmonton's D, it's not good enough. It's just not. These teams don't have a makeup of a Stanley Cup champion. They have makeups of dominating the regular season. And the game is different, and it's physicality, and it's little easy plays. And neither team the team I root for and the team Biz roots for, they don't have it. It doesn't matter how good your top-end players are, especially when they're not scoring.
Yeah. Yeah. So moving on, we'll see what comes of that. Enough Leaf talk right now.
I think they're all talking today to the media. So that's
okay. So we'll get some sound. We'll get some sound of that for tomorrow's show at least, and we'll see what they have to say.
Yeah,
we didn't get any real Leafs for game notes today. We didn't get anybody from the Leafs for game notes today.
I know. I can't believe it. I thought Marner'd be on here when I signed on.
His internet connection wasn't good. That's why we had to drop him. We're like, sorry, Mitch. Adios, buddy. So Vegas on Friday night after that Leafs loss, they go up 3-2 in the series. Saturday night, the Kraken win 6-3 and up drumming to force a Game 7. Ottinger had to be pulled in that game, which is crazy. Kraken will just not go away. Golden Knights flex their muscles on the Oilers, which leads us to last night as we prepare tonight for Game 7. Dallas Kraken, the funeral, Whitty, the funeral Merles of this Edmonton Oilers and the Connor McDavid playoffs.
I was very open and honest. Right when the game ended, I sent out a tweet. I said the better team won. Vegas is a hell of a lot to deal with. They're unreal down the middle. They have big, strong defensemen. And then they have somehow Aiden Hill play. Aiden Hill last night was unreal.
Wow.
41 straight saves, I think he made. And the ability for that guy, basically their 4th goalie, to give up goals on his first 2 shots against and then shut the door like that's mental toughness. That's being great at your craft. I didn't realize that the announcer last night said he's 6'6", 250.
I looked him up. I looked him up last night because I was wondering, because he looks huge in there, right? He's 6'4" on NHL.com or whatever his stats.
I think he's a little bigger than that.
He looks huge.
He looks
even
huge.
In the handshake line next to guys, I'm like, holy shit, he's huge. He's
so
huge.
You saw Edmonton. And I don't want to say get outclassed, but Vegas put on an absolute clinic at the end of that game. They did the entire game for the most part. They had great goaltending, and Edmonton did control the play the whole first period. The second period by Vegas was like an absolute clinic for playoff hockey. And for Jack Eichel to finally get in the playoffs and now move on to the conference final and beat McDavid, who went first overall in his draft. Like that's got to
He
be
played great.
He played unreal. He looks so comfortable and confident. He kind of struggled at the game 1 of the Winnipeg series, and since then, it's just he's been out of control. And like you talk about all the trades made at the deadline. How about Barbashev?
Yeah.
Talk about a guy in the playoffs, dude.
That's a great play.
That's a guy that you get in there, and he fits in perfectly with Vegas.
Yeah.
And that team is just they're built to win. They have.
I think they have so much relentless guys through their entire like even they're good players, and that's why I give Eichel a ton of credit because he's a skill guy, and I think he's been questioned with like his style of play. Is he all in kind of thing and playing? Well, I think he's arrived. This is his time. He got in the playoffs, and this is where he's going to change the narrative a little bit on people that say stuff about him. And I give him credit. I've said that stuff about him too. Like, oh yeah, he's watch him out there. He floats a little bit. Like he's not he's not like Crosby. He's not like these guys, these leaders that we see. Guess what? See ya. That's gone. That's gone. He threw McDavid down at the end, defended up man on him. He can skate with them, stick on puck, boom, 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 threw him down at the side of the net in the waning minutes as they're trying to, claw back into that game. So I give him a ton of credit. Production wise, the minutes that he's giving you, good minutes at both ends of the ice are really good. And like he's just stepped up in every way you'd expect like a Jack Eichel to step up. He's got to feel awesome about his game right now.
Yeah, I saw him even out on the penalty kill there, so he's killing penalties. I looked up today. He's actually the favorite for the Conn Smythe right now, plus 700. Ooh. So that's pretty wild. But I wanted to shout out, look who scored the goals last night. It's those original misfits out there. The same guys, why they've gone to the conference final all these years. Riley, Marshy, and the new father, Carlson. They know how to win. They play that hard style. You see them, they're flying the bodies around all the time. They're going to the mixer. Shout out to Biz, by the way. Brought up the mixer on TNT for us. And you just win. Those guys are winners. Marcia shows a small little guy like Marner. Why doesn't Marner go to the net like he does and score those kind of goals?
Or Nugent Hopkins. So you talked about Hyman, who, I mean, unreal regular season. He's been great since he got there. Kane, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins. 1 goal between them in the series. You're done.
The one Hyman was like off his finger off a rebound. Right. In the
maybe
paint.
Nuge got one, so maybe they had two. But look at Edmonton, and like I'm not blaming Skinner. He's a rookie goalie. But
I like Skinner.
But I mean he had like nothing. He got pulled in 3 of the games.
Yeah.
I think the last 2 games his save percentage was in the 700s. And then do you start Campbell or not? Like, I think Edmonton fans were actually on the side of starting Campbell. Mm-hmm. I actually was okay with starting Skinner because he's been starting every game, and it seems like when Campbell comes in, he plays way better than when he actually starts a game. But it's just now you're second-guessing everything the next day because Skinner gives up the first shot 20 seconds in, kind of a crazy bounce out of the corner. Yeah. And all of a sudden, even though Edmonton made it 2-1 pretty quick, it's just like you're just fighting uphill. And for the goaltending to perform like that, like you're not going to win. Like you need solid goaltending. It doesn't matter who the goalie is, but he has to make big saves. Aiden Hill in the third period, he made the save on Kane on the mini breakaway. And then he made the save on Ekholm. It's like, dude, the Oilers never got any of those saves.
No. Yeah. When it was kind of
and if they did, they were behind. They were losing when they got them, as opposed to like holding a lead and like finishing the game out.
So, Merles, what a start. What a start, though, to this game. Or 2 minutes and 43 seconds in, it was 2-1 Edmonton. It was just bing, 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 and it was going crazy. And I imagine the people with the over was going, holy smokes, this is a great start, because we were questioning kind of where this game was going to go, because this series has kind of smashed the overs. People are getting screwed in the series.
You almost got screwed again.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Carlson bails it out, the Swede. He comes through. Here's Woodcroft. Yeah, he's getting some criticism about being out-coached in this series as well. I noticed the situation last night, and how much can you play Leon and Connor, boys? I want to ask you this. Maybe I'll throw this to Coach Merles. There was a point at the end of the second period. They're down 3-2. Marchie's just rattled off 2 goals this period to make it 3-2. It's a 4-on-4, and they're about to get a power play in a minute if they can get through this 4-on-4. Well, you get on the 4-on-4, and I know what he's doing. He's trying to save Connor and Leon. Once that penalty gets out and they go up 5-on-4, now they're in a situation where they're able to, get them out there for that power play at the end and save them instead of putting them out 4-on-4 and letting them stay on for power play. Like, that's your thing. Instead, then Ekholm goes and takes the king across checking penalty, and then they come down.
Penalty.
Yeah, the 4-on-4 expires. It's a 4-on-3 now. Now it's going to be a 4-on-4. Just as that penalty expires to make it 4-on-4, Marchie scores that goal on just right at the end of that 4-on-3 power play. And I don't know why he don't put your big boys on the ice 4-on-4 and let them carry it then into that power play
And
setup.
who zipped the
You're
pass
going to live
across?
and die with these guys.
Who zipped the pass across? Pietrangelo.
Yeah.
Sick dish right to Marshall, so he buries.
Natural hat trick. And
I kind of
Also-
like what he did. I would have
agree,
told
Murph.
those guys, go out there. You guys got 20 seconds
Yep.
and then get off. I want to give Connor
I can see it though, but
a little bit
trailing,
of the 4-on-4, but I want them really fresh for that power play. I want to score, but Ekholm, what a stupid penalty. That guy, he did turn them around this year. They're there because of him.
Cross-check king.
And you called it all year. Cross-check king. He finally got caught at the worst time, and he was just so great the whole time since the trade.
Yeah.
I feel terrible that costed him the game.
Well, also about Ekholm, Oilers fans need to.
for me, was a major turning point. Like, just
Oh,
like
big time.
4-2,
Big time.
it's done.
It
You
was
don't
it.
now. Your boys don't see the ice because they have to kill. And yeah, they ended up scoring, but that's the biggest flip turn. Sorry to cut you off with that in the game. It's 3-2, 4-on-4. Finally, some penalties are called because Vegas was 0-for-2 on the power play. Well, we could maybe count that one as a power play goal, and Edmonton 0-for-1. So get your boys in situations if it's going to be no penalties that they're out there. That's what I'm saying.
Quickly about Ekholm, Oilers fans need to stop talking about the high stick where Ekholm was bleeding in
Yeah.
the third. That's
Seriously.
The rules are in a follow through. It is not a high stick. He did not shoot the puck, which is most people think of as a follow through, but he was battling for the puck. When you're battling for the puck or shoot it and the stick comes up in the follow through, it's not a penalty. Like, it sucks. It would have been 4 minutes, but the ref got that call right. In terms of Draisaitl and McDavid playing together, ideally, yeah, you don't want them on the same line. Like, you go into these games and they're not on the same line, and then all of a sudden you're getting nothing going 5-on-5. You're down, and then you put them out there together. One, because they can score at will, it seems like, together. The other main thing is, like, they're out there because they can actually play together and end up drawing a power play. Now, granted, they'd then be on the ice and probably have to change, but if it's early in the shift, they wouldn't. So when you're down, you have to put them together. It's like your only chance because you can tell throughout the early parts of the game, without them together, the lines aren't clicking. There's not enough going on. I don't know why Costin didn't play more. I don't know if he was injured. I know he took a shot off the foot. He wasn't even
350.
necessarily going to play game 6.
3 minutes and 50 seconds he played
so he
last
must
night.
have been, after that
He's
shot
hurt.
hit him in the foot,
He
must have
blocked a shot, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just that's the depth issue, and they got the early goal from McLovin Fogle, and they were able to get one, which is huge. But like when you get these guys on separate lines and nothing's going, the only answer he has is to put them together.
Yeah.
So it's like at some point you have to do it, and then you saw them together, and like every time they're on the ice in the third period, they're controlling the play, they're making things happen. ESPN didn't even show the replay of the best save Aiden Hill might have made.
Oh my God,
McDavid
when
rushed in,
McDavid
got the
picked that up.
backhand. Then they clipped a commercial. He actually ended up getting it, went back to him, and like he kicked out the left pad.
That was insane sequence. He comes down, he dances from an outside angle, cuts across, somehow gets a shot, weasels through the defenders. The puck poops out on the back door of the net, and somehow Hill he's kind of Luongo-y a little bit. He goes post to post with his feet. He kind of falls forward a lot. He gets out, he gets big, and then he falls forward. He has that same kind of style. But his leg just shot out on that rebound save. It just popped right to McDavid. I was like, oh my God, what a save. You're right. They didn't really show the replay of that, but what a sequence and attack by McDavid as we've seen. They were able to, pretty much shut them down here the last few games.
And before I got to go, back to Vegas. I mean, you saw at one point, I think the second period, McNabb just buried McDavid after the whistle in front of the net. They have Martinez blocks more shots than anyone. White Cloud is just this massive force. Pietrangelo is their big guy. The Oilers' big guy's Nurse, right? Like you look at the two high-paid defensemen, that's not even close. That team has all the makings of a Stanley Cup champion. They have every single aspect. Bruins fans are looking at Cassidy behind the bench. He's now moving on to the conference finals. That guy, say what you want, and I know Bruins players were so sick and tired of him by the end, but he's a good coach. He knows how to make adjustments. He was making adjustments. It just seemed like they were so good at being in their own zone. Like, they weren't even just doing the high flips. They were when they had to. They were, like, under pressure making these little 5-foot passes. Boom, they're out every time. Anytime Leon or Connor got the puck, there's two guys right there. It was a masterclass in playoff hockey and holding on to a lead. And I can't say any more good things about Vegas in terms of that team has everything it takes to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, they do. They really do. And their goaltending is shining through their depth.
I also got to say this. Sorry, Army. I got to go. They are $97 million. Their salary.
That's true.
And you know what? And I'm not a sore loser in terms of bitching and complaining, because that is the rules. And Stone went out and didn't come back to the playoffs, and it's the Kucherov situation. I don't know if the league's going to do something, but if you're able to do it, you do it. But when you have the ability to have all these guys, and playoff starts, and you're a $96 million team, and the team you're playing is $82 million, like everyone else, it's a difference maker.
Yeah.
So Oilers are dead. We'll see what happens in the coming days and this summer. It's going to be a crazy summer. I think
Ken Holland also has 1 year left on his deal, I believe. So he's going to want to go all in next year to get this done.
Yeah.
He's got to make some serious moves to make this Oilers team. I mean, they were exciting, eh, boys?
They're fun to watch, but so are the Leafs.
This was the year for both of them. All these big teams got knocked out. Avs were gone. Bruins were gone. Rangers were gone. It was a good year for either team. But I know you're all right. I got to ask you one more.
I have the most I've ever had riding money-wise on this game tonight. I've bet Dallas before the series.
Yeah.
I bet them before the series. I bet them after they lost game 1. I bet them after they lost game 3. I bet them after they lost game 6. So at this point, I'm going to be just stacked with cash on the Barstool Sportsbook, or I'm down to 0 if they lose. So that makes me feel like they're going to lose.
So you're not even doing a regular bet today. You're already all invested. Stars.
I can't bet the game tonight because I have no money left. It's all tied up in them winning this series.
All right.
So go Dallas. And Spit and Chiclets, we're recording at 6:30 the first half. We'll finish after the game. We'll be dropping tomorrow. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Whit. Thanks for coming
by.
by.
Another question for him. Holy shit, the Whit. He's coming in hot. He's leaving hot. He's ready to go. Everything's riding, Merman. I wanted to ask him why he thinks – I have my reason why I think Dallas, but I wanted to know why he picked Dallas. And as a series has gone on now to 7, why does he are you truly confident in Dallas? Is it more 50-50 because of the way Seattle's kind of played? Like they're playing really well, but – I believe Dallas will get it done tonight, and I'd be interested to hear. You think Dallas too, Merles?
Let me give you a couple stats. I'm invested on Dallas too. I bet them after game 1 of the series, so I'm invested on them. I got them at even money, but I'm going to give you 2 stats that I'm happy about, and then I'm going to give you 1 stat negative. Okay, Ottinger 22-5 after a loss this year. Coach Pete DeBoer 6-0 in game 7s. Those are 2 positives for Dallas. If you're a
2 for a loss.
If you're a Kraken fan, you can hold on to this. There's 7 of us in the Chiclets crew that have made this series predictions. All 7 of us are on the Kraken, and we have not been good. So there's your chance for the Kraken. We are all on the Stars, so that's never good.
That's just in our predictions. I mean,
yeah.
We gave up.
Then Whit bet them, I bet them. So we're money invested now too.
But it's tough to pick against Seattle. Like right now with how they've been playing.
Made it hard.
It's impossible.
And you're getting plus 175, Seattle.
Yeah. You know what they are, though? They're mini Vegas. They're like Vegas light.
So someone commented in the chat earlier, Army, and that's a really good point. I wanted to bring it up, but they said like that the way Seattle and Vegas have built their teams is it's like you guys have said kind of all playoffs. It's a team full of really good second liners where you don't need to pay these guys. Well, I mean, Vegas is paying these guys up the ass, but you don't need the top-heavy McDavid Draisaitl's where it's nice to be spread out through the whole lineup.
Yeah, and that goes back to our original conversation about like Dubas's big system doesn't work. Like what proof is it that it's working that it should go to Pittsburgh and do it or go somewhere else? And it's not working. We got to shout out. That's what I meant to say that too before Whit. We were pretty hard on Bill Zito down in Florida when he made some questionable moves. But I know Zito. I've known him a long time. He was an agent. He was working with me, and he was actually Miggs' agent for like a day. And he done a great job down there. He didn't go for the regular season. He figured it out. Oh, this regular season stuff doesn't work. It's about postseason.
We've been pretty hard on Bill Zito for a few years now, because I think 2 years ago when he was debating scratching Yans, I think
that started it. Yeah.
Biz said he was going to take a shit on his the hood of his car. So we definitely haven't been nice to Bill Zito.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to get ready to play in the Eastern Conference Final tomorrow night. Tonight, Game 7. I think Dallas will get it done, even though we were on the Kraken. The Kraken's such a good story. I love everything that they're doing right now. I love watching them play. They're relentless. I love their style of game. Dallas is the same way, but I think Dallas, to our point, plays that way, but they do have the star factor. They do have those guys with the punch, and they do have Ottinger, those stats, Merles.
Yep.
And I think
he's
in a
fresh
Game
now because
7,
he got pulled.
Yeah. In the Game 7, if you have that style, you're in your own barn, you're going to play that, and you have these guys that can get it done, that are difference makers. Pavelski's unstoppable. Where's Robertson? Robertson's collecting some points, but he looks like he's nursing something. I know I sent a clip around him skating kind of weird to us. I spotted it the other night. Just an unbelievable eye I have for the game. I just pick up on these things. Isolated him on a video, and he just looks like he's struggling to skate a little bit, like he's got something ailing him. Been interesting to keep track of him, but I just think they have like hints, and some of these guys that are just difference maker. Heiskanen, and the other flip side of it is it's just different. They're more of reliable on, their team play and their relentless play. So unbelievable. Game 7, we get another one, guys. And we'll see what happens. That's what I think. That's why I think Dallas in a Game 7 will get it done. Let's get to some picks. Let's get to some picks, baby. G, you popped on. Let's get you. Let's get G out of the gates, and we'll let
some
Merles
G
take
picks.
over.
Get these written down here.
So I was saying it to Merles beforehand. It's everything in me is telling me to pick Dallas for this game tonight, but I just have this like little inkling that I can't ignore to take Seattle. If Whit was still on here right now, I would be taking Dallas. At least I'd be telling him I'd be taking Dallas. But I'm taking Seattle money line tonight. I'm also taking Jordan Eberle, anytime goal scorer. He's been fucking nails throughout this playoffs. So I got Eberle anytime goal scorer. I think it's around plus 280 right now. So I'm taking Ebbs anytime goal scorer, Kraken money line.
And that's a big game player there. That's a Game 7 type player. That's the stuff you need right there.
Islanders fans got to be punching themselves in the face watching him just lighting up. They gave him away for nothing.
For nothing.
Yeah, he's just so clutch.
All those guys, every one of those guys there. Like,
True.
It's holy cow.
In and around the mixer, he's so good. Forehand, backhand. He's so nasty. He can pull it right into his feet, and he just makes so much happen. He's so shifty and sneaky and crafty. Western guy. What can I say? We got Western people in the chat. Let's hear it. Let's go. Sasky guy. Duh. Does anyone say duh anymore? Duh.
RA does, actually.
The RAs, yeah, that's brutal. I should cut that out then. RAs. Like, yeah, he's a throwback.
All right, I gotta address my EBR rule number 3. This rule was in play this has gone on for about 15 years. Game 7s, I always take the under. This series, even in the regular season, these games have been going over, and somehow they keep making them 5.5. They finally moved it up to 6 tonight. But rules are rules.
Rules are rules.
Rules are rules. It's Game 7. The whistle should be put away. Referees, you're hearing me. Put the whistles away. Let this be decided 5-on-5. I'm going over to the score bet in Barstool Sportsbook, and I'm moving it to 6.5. I'm going to pay some juice on that, pay $150 on it. But I'm going to try to keep it to a 4-2. If I get the 3-3 Mr. Ice and lose, I got to go down with my rules. It worked in the first round. I think we went 2-1, so I'm playing with house money. But rules are rules. I'm on the under 6.5. And then my guy on Dallas, it's Biz's. It was Biz's X factor of this series. And if Biz is going to get one thing right this round, it's Marchment. And Marchment to score a goal anytime, plus 290. Again, he's a kind of guy, Game 7, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tough. It's going to be around the net. I got him to score. So I'm going to stick with the under.
Yeah, he's been good too.
And I'm already on the series, like I said, so I need a Dallas win. So
Merle,
I'm
some
happy
would
with
say
this.
rules are made to be broken. Some would say that. When you're a good soldier like you, though, rules are rules. That's right.
This is a tough one. I'm not. This is a small unit play. Small unit play.
I've seen in the chat your Yanni Gord goal
this
plus
league
350.
This series has been nuts.
Someone's saying send my camera to the Mindsy. Sorry, I'm at a golf course right now. I'm about to cut it loose out here and just start hacking up this golf course. I apologize if the internet's kind of scrambly right now. I'll be back in my basement den tomorrow. This is how we had to make it work today. So thanks for sticking it out, people on the chat. I'll give you my picks. I got Hintz anytime goal plus 138. I got Tolvanen point. He's been playing pretty good too as the series is worn on as well, plus 145 just to get the point. And I got Hintz also on top of it, 2 points.
Ooh.
Plus 250.
Plus 250. Yeah, I love the points. I've been doing that the last couple nights because these games were tough. I had a feeling Seattle would win at home, but I like Dallas for the series. So I was like, I'm just going to do the points. And I did 4 of them, hit 3 out of 4. Same thing last night. I liked Vegas, but I wanted Edmonton. I wanted to see Game 7, so I went with the points again, 2 and a 4. But it's just a fun way to watch the game. No matter what the score is, you're watching. And is my guy out there? What's going on? Did he touch that? Was that him?
I know. I love that too. And I took that exclusive last night that McDavid and Jack Eichel would get 2 points each in that game. I thought it was going to be trending once I saw these goals popping off in the first 2 minutes, and I was like, oh, here we go. This is unbelievable. So I like doing that. I like staying in the game. This Cartier, I saw someone tweet about him. He's been playing really well too. Under 6.5 goals from Brownie, Beniers and Eberle over half a point plus 800. Oh my God.
I'm not a big fan of combining unders with goals and points. You know what I mean? You're kind of like betting against yourself in a way.
Yeah.
But Pavelski 2 goals plus 1,000.
Someone's got to score some points.
Never a bad betting against him. People are wondering where Miggsy is. Miggsy will be back tomorrow or the next day whenever we do Vegas. He's basking in his 2-0 night yesterday, spending the money at the pool party at Red Rock. But he's waiting. He'll be there in Vegas again for us, so that's key. We got him there.
Schwartz and Pavs, the two grizzled vets, plus 1,100 there, Merles. My internet might be shitty, but I see everything clear as day right now here, boys. I see it all. I see the chat. I can see everything. It's coming in good. Look at I brought my microphone.
This is what happens. I get so
antsy.
Legend. I get so antsy talking about these games. Game 7 tonight. Who's going to get the big goals? Now I got to stay up and watch it.
Yeah, you're going to be up. We'll be on the chat together.
It's brutal in the morning. I'm watching it in the morning and you can fast forward it. And I'm like, it's the worst.
Yep. Any chance of a Murley special tonight?
Ooh, I wonder. I was going to ask that. When is the last time a Game 7 OT? Did we get one? When was that? Did we have one last round or no?
No, I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
Firing on all cylinders here. I thought we had one. I
saw this Wyatt Johnson here. Anytime goal plus 240. I know you guys, even on Chiclets, they said was it you? He's the new Bergeron.
I've been talking about him all year, and then all of a sudden Whitney finally has an epiphany. He just came up with it. Oh, you guys hear about this Wyatt Johnson? He's got great points. I'm like, yeah, I've been telling you all season about him.
Yeah.
The wit. Yeah. He has a closed brain, just Oilers. Now his brain is going to be open to new ideas expand. Now that the Oilers are gone.
Welcome to the Stanley Cup playoffs, Wit.
I saw a little news. If we are done with the picks on that game, a little news on the other series. I saw Teravainen got rid of his yellow jersey, his yellow no contact jersey. So I don't know what that means. That was just a tweet I saw before we came on. I thought that was fun. Army, we're getting up there in time. I wanted to ask you more about the Worlds, but we'll save that for another day. U.S. is off to 3-0. Canada was in a shootout. I don't know what they ended up doing here.
They're playing U.S. versus Germany, Canada versus who?
Canada beat Slovakia in a shootout. There's a couple more games. Tonight's the big games. Finland versus Sweden. Big rivalry game.
Yep.
So I'll be watching that in about 40 minutes. Let me give you a pick on that. Let's see who's in net. Larmy versus Johansson. That's an under all day. Let me check the over-under quickly. 4.5. Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Sweden. Give me Sweden with Johansson plus 100 in this World game coming up. You heard that in the chat. Sweden plus 100.
There it is right there.
There it is.
Everyone's got it. Well, we got some picks. Enjoy the night, everybody.
Night.
Game 7.
Yep.
It doesn't get better than this. Merle's is going to stay up. My internet is shitty. I apologize. I'm at the golf course. I thought it would hold up. It's been fading on me. So with that,
speaking of golf, hold on one more before the golf. The Sandbagger's coming out. Sandbagger's coming out Wednesday. So make sure you get Chiclets, see that. Dave and versus the boys. That's going to be a show.
Josh Richards and Dave, right? Is that who's on there?
Yeah, Josh. Yep.
Yeah.
Dave is out of his mind. He's nuts. Yep.
Yeah, that's coming out on Wednesday. Obviously, stay tuned for Chiclets this week as well. And we'll see you tomorrow. Game number 1 of the Eastern Conference Final tomorrow night. So we have a little more action. Game Notes Daily doesn't stop, Merles. We just keep rolling. So thank you, everyone. Please subscribe on the YouTube page. G, thank you. Witty, thank you for coming on. Stay tuned for the Wednesday. We'll remind you again tomorrow of the Sandbagger. Enjoy the Game 7 tonight. This doesn't happen very often. It feels so exciting. It feels so exciting. Let's see what happens. Follow along. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.